You're tired of being handed L's when the defenders sally. You think it's OP and unbeatable. Facing a full sally is the worst, and you're bad at it. But it's okay, we're all bad at it. It is a good thing then that Siege Jesus has spent time with the landfolk. Come with me, and you too can be slightly less worse at countering sallies. It's very hard to counter, but if you suspect it's coming, there are 4 major tactics you can use, and here's how they work. Before we dive in, do you have any tricks and tips for dealing with a sally out? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to stick around to the end of the video for bonus tips on what not to do. Understand you need to manage 2 in-game pressures, the sally force and assaulting the walls. It doesn't matter if it's 2v2, 3v3, or 4v4, just meet the sally with equal force. One player needs to use his whole army to counter, the other player should use archers and a handful of infantry to push the walls, with the majority of troops facing the sally as well. The defenders only have a small amount of infantry and some missile units inside to stop your advance, so apply pressure. Because they can't afford to be worn down at this point of attack, they need to strike quickly, hammer and anvil style. They will rush your lines to try and cause routing, catch missile units and artillery through gaps, and force you to expose the side and rear of your army. So how can you stop this? You need to bring the right army comp. Cavalry is a must. Slingers, super important. Follow that up with some mid-tier infantry with Pila and a cav gen. A Scorpion can also be very useful for hitting their high-value units as their lines advance. Spend the rest of your money on cheap Pila. The other army needs to take as much solid mid-tier as possible. And archers. Spears with counter-cavalry tactics are useful if you see your enemy bringing one of these bad boys, or if the sally out is small. Third is how you set up your battle lines. Set up, angle away from the wall. Create tower walls to protect your units from missile fire. If possible, use natural, impassable landscape features to anchor your flank or guard your rear. Put your slingers up out front. They will soften up enemy units as they advance, and will trade fire with enemy slingers. Scorpion must be protected, but able to see enemy forces as early in the sally as possible. Hit units in high density formation, focus on high cost units and generals whenever possible. Place your infantry and cavalry in a double staggered line behind your slingers. Make sure to have formation attack off and auto fire on. How can we take these comps and battle arrangements and give ourselves the best chance of winning? This brings us to our 4th major tactic. The maneuvers, running your plays on the field. It's no good to just stand there and take it. Be assertive and control the pace of the game, but don't chase. This will only tire your guys out and open you up for shots from the walls and defensive towers. At the outset of battle, if you have any horse archers, use them to scout the gates and to harass the sallying army. Make sure to train your Scorpion on the enemy and have those slingers in position. When the enemy is ready to commit to melee, you can choose to wear them down by throwing a little kiting action at them. Now that they're softened up a bit, it's time to commit your forces to melee. Pull your slingers back behind your infantry and meet the sally. Look to have your cavalry hit their infantry first, followed up immediately with your own infantry. Your cav will knock the unit down, making it easier for your infantry to cut them up. If the engagement starts cav on cav, be sure to get a melee unit in combat with the enemy cav before they have a chance to pull out. With your infantry engaged, pull your cavalry out, use it to initiate another engagement. Exploit gaps, hit their flanks and missile units, and intercept their cavalry from doing the same. Keep a few reserve infantry to use if a gap is forming, a unit is breaking, or the enemy is flanking your units. Of course, if you aren't already, use your slinger to target enemy missile units and generals. At the same time, you need to be pushing up your turrets and towers, forming tower walls and making breaches. Since the defense will only have a few units inside, use your archers to auto-fire dump defensive units holding at the walls. Once breached, it's important to keep infantry engaged there so enemy troops can't rush out into your missile units and backlines. Since the attackers have more funds for troops and the defenders need to hold the walls, it's easy to match the sally unit for unit, so don't rush and pick your engagements wisely. And don't forget to use unit and general abilities. Oh right, couple of tips for what not to do. 1. Don't noob box. It allows the enemy to surround you and expose you to crossfire and trampling. If you suspect a sally from any faction other than nomads, do not take nomads. Defenders can just change comps and stay inside, leaving you with a mostly ineffective full cavalry army. Try these tactics out and gain glory on the battlefield. Until next time.